Day 3. I'm writing this from my hotel room in Brooklyn. When I arrived here, the very first thing I did was turn on the television to see what was going on in the world, and there it was. Here in today's news around the world, the Pope hosts the Church's traditional consistory where new cardinals are promoted in the faith. The Pope has broken with tradition and has made these consistories open to the public. Father Thomas, one of the Church's most prominent leaders, has been promoted to cardinal. His eyes in tears as the Pope puts the ring on his finger. When I heard this, I immediately knew it was staged. These devils are really good. Now I know what the emergency meeting was for. To be honest though, I'm not really surprised this kind of farce took place. In the agency, we are very fond of this. I personally have been involved in rigging elections and faking assassinations, but what somewhat scares the hell out of me is I know I killed the Pope. So this must have been his double. Thomas plays the game very well too. There he is in tears to some clone giving him a ring that means nothing but deception. That takes some nerve. We are really dealing with a hell of a devil. But then again, was that even Thomas? I'm not sure if he and the clergy drank that wine. Hell, I don't know what's real anymore. This is what this kind of work would do to you. It completely distorts your reality because while you're trying to play God, Satan is too. Both sides are fighting in this game, and the deception of war leads to a complete distortion of reality. I'm not even sure if I really killed the Pope. Maybe they knew I was coming. This kind of ambiguity and uncertainty leaves me deeply concerned for my daughter. I feel I may have left her in the hands of snakes. But then again, this battle is bigger than any one person. Yes, even a daughter. I have seen fellow comrades get their heads blown off right in front of me. I've eaten dinner with a fellow soldier discussing our families at home, and the very next hour, they are blown up. This is the kind of work that really does something to your emotions. It forces you not to get too attached to people because the moment you do, you will be immobilized. You will be so stricken with grief that you may want to end your own life. So we are trained to keep pushing forward. Even if someone gets shot and they fall beside you, we are trained to leave them and keep pushing because the mission is always bigger than the person. So I can't afford to think about Radiat. If I do, I won't be able to continue on. I made a promise to this mission. And I'm sure the other comrades, they have other obligations, but before we left each other, we made an agreement to continue on. We made an agreement to go all the way despite the consequences. We are truly the only hope of bringing this enemy down. So I have to go on. I know what those who are living today would say, but those who will be born tomorrow will say something different. Don't look too much at the present, for you will only see a father. Look 100 years from now and you will see something different. You will see something greater. You will see a man who sacrificed it all for the safety and security of the people. I don't even know if Hector is who he says he is. But if God is who he says he is, then I will just have to have faith that Radiat will be fine. As for Thomas and the church, I guess they revealed to me the power I am up against. I have no time for subtleties anymore. From now on, I will be fully confrontational and public. My missions must be seen now to the people. This is why I decided to do something big. Since I'm in New York, tomorrow morning I will blow up the stock exchange. I'm ready to send the world's economy into full shock. I am prepared to paralyze the headquarters of the world's trading place. I don't know what my fellow comrades are doing, but I trust they are doing their job. I haven't felt their presence yet, and I was hoping with the Pope's assassination they would feel mine. But maybe they ran into the same stumbling block as me. Maybe they were introduced to the magnitude of the Satan we are really dealing with. Who's to say the president wasn't killed already or an election wasn't rigged? Maybe these devils are on to us. Maybe they are already 5 steps ahead of us. It is said in Scripture that they plan, and Allah plans, and Allah is indeed the best of planners. Ironically, this mission is pushing me to put my faith in a power that is not only greater than me, but greater than the enemy. As much as I hate religion, I am being forced to put my life in it and this very mission in the hands of God. This allows me to keep moving. It allows me to push forward through the paranoia. So even if they are on to me, I will still do what I have to do tomorrow. I have everything already in motion. It is not my intention to kill innocent people, though. I know most who work in the stock exchange are what you call dumb devils ruled by a wise Satan. These folks are so minor of the scale of imperialism and exploitation. That's why it's the building I'm after, not them. You know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna go now. They say the element of surprise is the best advantage in war, so if they are on to me, why not do it now? I'ma just get my gear real quick and head on my way down there. I decided not to wear all black this time. Even in the night, New York is always lit up, so what's the point? I have small grenades that is powerful enough to take down a 4-bedroom house, so this is enough for the job. As I leave my hotel, I can see the maids down the hall pushing their carts. They look so depressed. Reminds me of the children in Ethiopia. Seeing their faces rejuvenates my spirit to push forward. I know who this is for, so I must do it. It's about an hour and 45-minute walk to Lower Manhattan, but I don't mind. The walk will allow me to process everything. I can't afford taking no bus or taxi in the States. I'm in simple clothing, so my identity won't be too obvious, but hopefully it's not too simple. As I walk through the city, I can see a diverse range of oppression. I see people oppressed by being overworked, oppressed by drugs, oppressed by prostitution, oppressed by having no shelter, and oppressed by the middle-class struggle to maintain the American dream. What everyone calls the American dream is really the American nightmare. And tonight, it will be definitely a reminder of that. Here I am now, 45 minutes into my walk with about an hour to go, and I see all of this. Why is America viewed as paradise when the people are overworked and underpaid? Why is there a war on drugs in this country where the users and dealers are jailed, but the government who ships them in aren't? Why are Muslim nations condemned for not treating their women right, while we have sex trafficking being overlooked by our own government? Why does our Statue of Liberty, not too far away from me, say, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door." It says all of this, yet the homeless have no shelter, and the masses of people continue to live in an American nightmare. There is no golden door, for the people that is, except the doors on billionaires' houses. So I must go to the headquarters of where these hypocrites do their dirty work. This motivates me to destroy it all. As I continue my walk, I'm noticing the lights are becoming brighter. This tells me that I'm getting closer to my destination. The size of the people grew, and so did the energy. You could almost taste the condition of the human experience. Everyone out at night, but for what purpose? Some were heading to work, some were getting off work, some were on drugs, others were headed to a party, some just looked like they were strolling for a walk. With all of the missions people had that night, I wondered if I was the only one who had mine. What is the probability of me being the only one to do something like this? These are the crazy questions I pondered on during my walk. My observations of the people made my walk somewhat short, though. Before I knew it, I was down the street from the stock exchange. I knew the exchange closed at 4, so this was the perfect time to do what I had to do. There was no one in the building, just the symbol of wealth and exploitation itself. Sometimes people can be so oblivious to what's right in front of them. I am walking past people and they don't even have a clue. It's always bothered me that a nation so free is equally so vulnerable. This is the advantage I feared ISIS would have on the innocent, and now it just tickles me that I was doing the damage the whole time. I was fighting an enemy that never even existed. This was now all a game to me until I saw what happened next. I was within 20 feet of the building, and then, all of a sudden, an explosion bursted right in front of me. The stock exchange ignited into flames, and it was so powerful that it just threw me back. With all of the bright lights around me, it seemed like an eerie fireworks display. That is, until everyone on the street started screaming. The energy that electrified the area quickly turned into fear. People were running, but all I could do was just lay there. It was as if I was in a movie and everything was moving except me. I was trying to make sense of what just happened. I was so perplexed that I thought I had thrown one of my own grenades by an accident and forgot I did due to the heavy distractions that were circling through my mind. As I laid in total confusion, I then saw a man run out from the building, and to my surprise, he was dressed just like me. This really concerned me, so I then worked up the courage to go chase him. As I'm chasing him, I start to hear police sirens. I had to make a decision if I should continue pursuing this man or run for cover myself. I couldn't risk being seen in public since I'm on the run as well. When I saw the police lights, I immediately made the decision to run for cover. I sprinted towards the nearest alley and attempted to blend in with the darkness. There I was with my body pressed against the wall and noticed the sudden silence in the air. It was a silence that was then disrupted by a streak of tires that came from the cop cars. I figured the cop cars must have stopped suddenly. "Stop right there!" I heard in a panic. I figured they must have caught the guy I was chasing. Shots started to fire, and this made me cringe. It's funny because I have been in war zones for a long time, and I've heard bombs go off, and I've even seen people die right in front of me. But this was not the same. This was simply on a different level. I heard a man scream as if he were in pain, so I figured they must have shot him. For 10 minutes, I stood there with the flashes of police lights flickering in the background. An ambulance eventually came to take him away. And before the police even had a chance to search the remaining area, I booked my way out of there and managed to make my way back to my hotel room. But here I am on the run and I have done nothing. I feel so insecure right now. I have always been in control of situations like this, but I don't feel in control right now. I ran all the way back to my hotel, which was an hour and 45 minutes away, but I didn't even pay attention to that. When I got to my hotel room, I slammed the door and made my way to the television. I assumed the reporters would have made their way down to the scene, and to no surprise, they were. The reporters were all over this story. It looked like madness down there. I clicked over to the local news, and there it was. Witnesses were explaining where they were when the explosion happened, but then a man came on and said the most disturbing thing. I saw the explosion. I also saw a man run out from the side of the building. He was wearing a white t-shirt and a hat. That's the most I saw of him. This man had described what I was wearing. Although a white t-shirt and a hat isn't the best of coincidences, especially in a city like New York, I felt a rush of goosebumps go down my back. I had a feeling something wasn't right. How did the stock exchange explode just seconds before me doing it? How does this mysterious man running from the building look exactly like me? I started to think I was being set up. I've seen cases like this before in the agency. I knew I should have grabbed my things and made my way out the door, but I heard breaking news on the TV and this just paralyzed me. Police have in custody an African-American male, 5'8", 190 pounds, 30 years of age. The suspect is being treated in a nearby hospital after being wounded by gunshots from the NYPD. These wounds are not fatal, and once the suspect is recovered, he will be immediately transferred to the local police department. The license that was extracted from the suspect has the name Red. These are all the details we have for now. When the reporter said my name, it confirmed everything for me. I knew I had been set up. I instantly packed what little I had and jarred my way out the door. I know the agency is now on to me. They probably have been following me this whole time. Because of this, I had to change my tactics. To be honest, I did prepare for something like this just in case. I was trained to always have a plan B. I can't tell you where I'm going next, but I have to make my way out as soon as possible. I feel like no matter where I go, they will know, so I can't be too much exposed. But this has completely changed the game. This is no longer a game of cat and mouse. The tables have indeed turned. It has turned into a guinea pig project where I am now the experiment. I've been on the run for 2 days now, and I'm doing my best to go unnoticed. Everyone knows who I am now, so I must be extremely cautious about wherever I go. At first I was on the run from the government, but now I'm on the run from everyone. I was thinking of making myself known, but that's probably what they would expect me to do. Maybe they don't know my location. This can all be just a mind game. In this kind of game, the art of bluff is a hell of a gamble. You can't afford to act too quickly, for you must process your thinking carefully, even if a decision seems obvious or easy, because it's always the obvious and easy decisions that can be a trap. This is why I decided to stay in hiding for 2 days. I didn't show myself to anyone or anything. I stayed in a private location, going without food and water. This kind of fasting is nothing new to me, as we are trained survival skills in the service just in case we were caught by the enemy. On the third day, though, I decided to relocate, but as I did, I heard over the television another breaking news. Suspect in the stock exchange bombing was released from the hospital today and was transferred to the NYPD under the supervision of the FBI. However, after being transferred, the suspect managed to escape custody. The police department and the FBI has put out an APB, local and international. If you happen to see the suspect, please notify the police immediately. I knew if this guy was a plant, there is no way these devils would allow him to escape accidentally. This was obviously intentional. Now I'm really on the run. Anyone who sees me might report me. These may be devils, but these are some wise devils. I think I underestimated them. Man, I can't help but think, if my colleagues are watching this, I hope they are not fooled. I know I was going to blow up the stock exchange, but there is a double out now, and I don't want them to think that the double is me. Whatever happens, I just pray this doesn't throw them off their game. They know how good I work. I would never get caught like this, but then again, nothing is truly certain. But hell, I can't afford to keep pondering on these questions and paranoia, so I threw on a hoodie and sunglasses. I shaved my beard and headed over to the nearest boat dock. I know New York's boat docks are famous for its international travels when it comes to smuggling, so I figured this is the perfect transportation to make my way out of here. The nearest boat dock was about 20 minutes away. I thank God it was raining, for this rain helped me to disguise myself. When I finally reached the dock, I saw there were Haitians there. I could tell by the French that they were speaking. When I had approached them, I asked them a question, and they didn't seem to respond, so I spoke in French. I have $3,000 in my pocket. It's all yours if you can get me out of here, I spoke in French. Being that I spoke their language, there was some kind of camaraderie between us, and without hesitation, he put his hand out as a signal to give him the money. When I did so, he grabbed me on my shoulders and snuck me on the boat. I don't know where this boat is going, but I really don't care. As long as I'm out of sight, I will somewhat be safe. Before the boat took off, though, the Haitian man tried to slip me this letter. I just looked at him at first, and he looked at me, and eventually I took it out of his hand. He then said, "A man informed me that someone that fits your description would be desiring to get out of town. Because you're the only one that has requested this, here you go." He had this eerie look on his face the whole time he was talking. I looked at the man with total paranoia. If this was a setup, I knew I couldn't escape, so without trying to flee, I just submitted and took the letter. This is what it said. If you're reading this, I want you to know I'm on to you. You are not going to ruin me, nor this great country. I have spent all my life serving and defending this country and all of the ideals it stands for worldwide. And if you think your little game is going to work, you're sadly mistaken. I know you're a clone that the CIA created, and I have been following you this whole time. I allowed you to do your thing in Ethiopia and the Vatican, but now it's all over. If you continue on this stupid mission of yours, know that I am right behind you. Yeah, I blew up the stock market to show you that I could have killed you if I wanted to. You don't know where I am, but I definitely know where you are. The Pope you think you killed, he was a clone. The secret revolution you started in Ethiopia, well, the supervisors were actually ex-cons, so that wasn't much justice, was it? Now, because I feel like I must start what you think you will finish, I'm now on my own mission. I will do what I have to do, and you do what you need to do. May the best red win. I hope you don't believe this guy. I mean, I'm really the true red. I could have kept this letter from you, but I told you I would be totally transparent. I really hope that I've gained your trust. I don't know what this clone will do, but I have to continue my work. I guess I can no longer afford to be subtle. If he's on to me, then I must strike, and I must strike fast. I just pray that God is with me. I realize that this mission is far bigger than me. That is why I am relying on God Himself. I don't know if He's with me, but if I'm with you, then He definitely has to be somewhere close. I must be leaving now, but I will definitely be talking to you soon. You take care. Until then, your true Servant Red, signing out.